everyone, this is Pizza with PML, and this is what the project file of my track called Cheerful looks like. We're going to take a look at all the elements, and the project file will be linked in the description so you can grab it for free. Another thing I want to mention is that I'm giving private lessons as well, so if you want to make some music with me, go ahead and click the link in the description, sign up, and we can just Skype and make some music. First of all, let's just give it a quick listen. Alright, so it's a short 1 minute 13 seconds track, and as I said, go to the description to download this project file. Now we're going to focus on this part in here. Let's hear what it sounds like. And I'll just quickly go through all the elements in here. So originally the track started out from this clip in here. So I took this black sort of reverbed sound and it sounded like this. I just recorded this clip. That's basically all I did. I just turned up the release on this black sound so that it's got all the tail in its reverb, and then I took an operator and I stacked it with the sound. So that it sounds together like this. Alright, so what do I do here with this operator synth? It's in this mode, so D oscillator goes into the C oscillator and the B oscillator goes into A. So the A oscillator is a sine wave. This is being altered by another sine wave, and on top of that there's a triangle wave playing. The envelopes look like this. I basically did some tweaking on the release times, and then I threw an EQ8 on there, and this is what it sounds like without it and with it. So yeah, no reverb in there, just stacking up the sounds with this black. And another thing I did is I took a harp sound and I stacked it with this area in here. So this is basically a harp 2 short. So this is basically a preset in the tension instrument. So if you have Suite Ableton, you'll have harp 2 short in there. So I didn't change any of these settings, just cut off some of the low end, threw some ping pong delay in there and some reverb. And another thing I did, this is a very interesting effect in here. So what I did was I recorded the black sound onto a new audio track, and then I reversed it and just cut out this part. Next thing, I made some Serum tracks, so this is what they sound like. Alright, so for this purpose I took a basic saw wave oscillator and an electric guitar oscillator and just stacked these two wavetables, and I just threw in a filter in there, so a cutoff set like this, and then I made an LFO shaped like this, and I'm modulating the cutoff basically with the LFO. So this is what it sounds like, nothing too fancy. And then an EQ8 to bring up some of the high end in there. And I wanted to just make the LFO faster, so I made the LFO shape like this, and I just increased the rate manually to around 11 Hz. I'm sure you can do that with the BPM switched on, but I just did it this way. It sounded better to me. So yeah, there's another wavetable in here so that there's some sound difference, and just a unison, some more detuned wavetables in here. And the third track in here is a reversed sort of Serum, but it's not any reversed sound. It's just a usual saw wave in Serum. The unison cranked up to 4, detuned it a little bit, and the envelope is done like this. So not only does the volume of the synth increase with this line, but also the envelope is assigned to this cutoff filter, so yeah, it's being modulated in this way. And also there's some reverb effect on it. Good. This is what both of these groups sound like. The next thing will be the drums. Let's hear what drums sound like. Yeah, this is basically being repeated. For the kick, I used a Deep Premium Volume 1 kick, number 1, so you can grab it on the PML website. The link will be somewhere in the description. It's a very good kick. And I just took off some of the high end in there. Another thing I did is there's a snare in here, nothing too fancy. This is a hi-hat sample, and it's with a reverb effect, so that the tail is a little bit longer. And in this part, where the pluck is playing this shape in here, the hi-hats are playing 3 times, like this. And then I added some additional snares in here. This snare doesn't really fit into the grid. I tried to humanize the sound, so I didn't place it in here, but instead I placed it in here, so that it sounds more kind of real, I guess. These are all the drums. Next thing, I took some percussion sounds. They are placed in not too obvious moments. They just fill up some of the more kind of silent spaces in the track, and they make it more interesting. And this sound, for example, is also kind of off the grid, but I placed it like this just to humanize the sound. Another thing I dragged in here was an a Foley kind of recording. You can record random things in your room with a microphone and then place it in your project so that the sound is more kind of organic. Also, there's a bass instrument in here. So the bass is an operator bass. And it's a sine wave modulated by another sine wave with a low pass filter in here and an overdrive effect to fatten the sound. And I'm bringing up some of these frequencies in here too, because let's give it a listen. Yeah, so without it, this note is really quiet. And I wanted it to sound louder, so I'm bringing up this frequency. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just bringing up some of these frequencies. In here, I'm turning up the gain, just making the sound louder, and then sidechaining this whole bass to the kick, so that when the kick hits, the bass goes quieter. So let's play it with the drums. Yeah. The last element in this section is a really cool riser effect that I did in here at the end. So I took a white noise recording and this is basically some white noise. I threw an autopan effect with the phase to 0 degrees, so that it's acting almost like a tremolo effect. And then, yeah, this compressor is kind of compressing both of these sounds, and automating the volumes like this. And I took some kind of keys Foley recording and turned on fades. Yeah, and I did it like this. And it's both of these sounds are in a group, which volume is automated by this autopan effect. This is pretty much the first part of the track. In the next part I inserted a collision instrument. This is basically the starting preset with collision. I didn't change anything at all. I just played some chords without matching it to the grid to make it more human, and added some kind of snap sounds in here. And then also in the background there is some Foley recording played and some perks. There's also a snare in here playing, so this tiny snare. And then there's this cool kind of snare roll in here. So I'm automating the gain in here, so it goes quieter then louder, and I'm automating the frequency of this EQ. The same thing is done here. You can, by the end, you can hear the Flag sounds are coming in. In here we've got some hi-hats automated by an arpeggiator instrument. This is kind of a lower hi-hat sound, this is kind of a higher hi-hat sound. They are both stacked together. Volume is automated, and they are sidechained to these hi-hats in here. So that when these hi-hats are playing, these hi-hats go quieter, so that there are only one kind of hi-hats playing. Yeah, the bass is playing in here, and there are some changes with the Serum, and it's playing like this. There are basically some changes done to the Serum as well, but these are just minor tweaks and changes, and these are pretty much all the elements in here. Yeah, this is my track called Cheerful. It was K-Pizza bringing you a tutorial and a free Ableton project on this track. Thank you very much for watching. And also reminding you, there's another thing I want to mention is that I'm giving private lessons. So if you're interested, there will be a link in the description where you can sign up for the lessons. If you want to make some music with me, then go ahead and sign up.